Like, I have no inclination to where they're at right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from. Like, I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad.
Police in Colorado have issued an alert for a pregnant mother and her 2 young daughters.
Welcome to Shocking True Crime. Thanks to all our viewers and subscribers for your support. Stay with us for daily updates on the most shocking true crime stories. Don't forget to subscribe.
August 13, 2018. 5:40 a.m. A quiet and lovely neighborhood in Frederick, Colorado. The kind of place where the world moves at a slower pace, where neighbors wave as they walk their dogs, and children laugh as they ride their bikes. In the home on Saratoga Trail, everything appeared serene. From the outside, the Watts family seemed to have it all. Chris, a devoted father, worked hard to provide for his family. Shannon, his wife, had a radiant smile that could light up any room. Together, they had 2 young daughters, Bella, 4 years old, and Celeste, 3. They were the picture of happiness. Their home was filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a bright future. But behind closed doors, there was tension. No one could see it, no one but Chris and Shannon. Their marriage, once filled with promise, was slowly unraveling. Chris, a man who once promised to protect his family, began to drift further away. His attention was no longer on his wife, nor his children. Something was pulling him in another direction, someone. It all started with an affair. A secret that Chris tried to keep hidden from those closest to him. But secrets have a way of coming to light. It wasn't just about the affair, it was about everything that had come before it, and everything that followed. The morning of August 13th began like any other. Shannon returned home after a business trip. Her luggage still in the hallway, she began making breakfast. She sent a text to a friend, chatting about the day ahead. But in those final moments, something changed. The world they had built, the lives of 2 young daughters, would never be the same again. No one could have predicted what was to come. The quiet husband, the loving father, the man who had shown nothing but devotion to his family, was about to make a decision that would leave the world stunned. What happened next is something few can comprehend. A truth so horrifying, it defies explanation. The world watched in disbelief as the Watts family's tragic story unfolded. Chris Watts went from a man desperate to keep up appearances to a cold and calculating killer. A husband's betrayal became a fatal choice, and in the blink of an eye, everything they had was gone. But why did this happen? Was it the pressure of a failing marriage? The affair? Or was there something deeper at play, something we'll never truly understand? The questions remain, unanswered. And the scars of that fateful day linger in the hearts of those who knew them. Tonight, we unravel the story of Chris Watts, a family man who shattered everything he held dear. A life destroyed, a love betrayed, and a man whose lies would eventually catch up with him. Stay with us as we take you through the shocking tale of Chris Watts. A story of betrayal, loss, and the devastating consequences of a man who chose everything over the one thing that truly mattered. Chris Watts seemed like the epitome of a perfect family man. Living in a quiet suburb in Frederick, Colorado, he had all the markers of a successful, well-rounded life. He was a devoted husband to his wife, Shannon, and a loving father to their 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste. The family's social media presence painted a picture of happiness, often filled with photos of vacations, birthday parties, and milestones. Shannon, with her bright smile and bubbly personality, was the heart of their online presence, often sharing the joys of family life. Their Instagram was filled with photos of road trips, family outings, and birthday celebrations, all giving the illusion of an ideal, carefree family. Chris would post about his love for his family, capturing moments of laughter and togetherness. Shannon, ever the optimist, often chronicled their day-to-day lives, making sure to highlight the milestones they celebrated. From their kids' adorable antics to Chris's love for his wife, their lives seemed to reflect what many would consider the American dream. They had a beautiful home, the perfect suburban lifestyle, and, from the outside, were the envy of many. But as with so many stories, appearances were deceiving. Beneath the surface, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Behind the carefully curated photos and videos, a dark reality was beginning to unfold. Chris, the loving husband and father, was slowly drifting away from his family. His marriage to Shannon was beginning to show cracks. There were moments of tension, disagreements, and emotional distance that the family didn't share on social media. While they smiled for the camera, something deep inside their home was quietly shifting, away from the love they portrayed. And no one could have imagined the tragic path that would soon take over their seemingly perfect lives. Despite the picture-perfect life Chris and Shannon portrayed online, subtle signs of trouble began to emerge in their marriage. Those close to them started to notice a shift in Chris's behavior. He became emotionally distant, often withdrawing into himself, especially when it came to his relationship with Shannon. They weren't the couple they once were. Friends and family began to observe a growing tension between them, though it remained mostly behind closed doors. On social media, the smiles were still there, but the warmth behind them was fading. Shannon, ever the optimist, often shared moments of joy, but those closest to her saw the cracks starting to form. She had become suspicious of Chris's increasing aloofness and late nights at work. She would text her friends, asking for advice, feeling that something wasn't right, but not knowing exactly what it was. Meanwhile, Chris was hiding something much darker. He had started an affair with Nicole Kessinger, a coworker who had become the focus of his attention. To those who knew him best, this wasn't just a fleeting phase, it was a deeper shift in his priorities. In interviews, Shannon's friends recall her expressing concerns about Chris's behavior, though they didn't fully grasp the extent of his emotional withdrawal. Social media posts, once filled with loving messages and photos, began to feel more forced. Chris's posts about Shannon became less frequent, and when they did appear, they felt scripted, as though he was trying to keep up appearances. The facade was slowly crumbling, but the truth was still hidden, even from those who thought they knew him best. As the tension built, it would soon lead to the unimaginable. As the tension in the Watts home reached a breaking point, Chris's secret life continued to grow, hidden in plain sight. Late-night text messages with Nicole Kessinger, his mistress, became a routine part of his day. They spoke often, their conversations intimate and full of promises, while Chris's marriage with Shannon fell further into disrepair. What seemed like an innocent friendship to those around him was, in reality, a full-blown affair that Chris was desperately trying to keep under wraps. Each message exchanged with Nicole was a betrayal of the family he had built, yet he couldn't break free from the pull of the secret world he had created. Meanwhile, Shannon, blissfully unaware of the growing distance between her and her husband, posted with excitement about their upcoming family vacation. She shared with her friends online, making plans for the trip to North Carolina, eagerly anticipating the time away with her children and hoping it would bring the family closer. Her posts were filled with excitement and hope, her love for her family still strong, her trust in Chris unwavering. But while Shannon dreamed of a future full of family memories, Chris was plotting a future of his own. A future that didn't include her, or their children. The gap between them widened every day, and the lies Chris told began to stack up, each one more damaging than the last. As Shannon prepared to board a flight with their girls, oblivious to the storm gathering in the background, Chris made a decision that would change everything. What seemed like a typical family moment would soon turn into the darkest chapter of their lives. But what's really happening behind closed doors could shatter it all. And don't forget to subscribe as we continue on the next episode.